Welcome back to Becoming a Published Author is Fun. We're in episode 2510. And the question here I have is, are you ready for taxes? That's a very important question because we are now approaching April. This is February and April isn't very far away. And if you're an author or you are starting to write a book or anything like this, you've got to start thinking about terms about being a business person and being, maybe you're going to have to pay some taxes. So let's take a quick look at this. This is just a quick journey. I'm thinking very seriously about doing the next few episodes about how we go about being a business person. Uh, I've done it before, but I think it's good to do it again to refresh your memory. And maybe you never seen this before, and you might be puzzled about why it's so important to be a business person. So, are you ready for taxes? Is my topic, but we're going to spend the time looking at being a business person. And so, why is that important? Well, it's important because Uncle Sam, your friendly federal government, looks at you when you start writing. You haven't even published a book yet, let alone have sales. But they actually, in one sense of the word, they start looking at you as a business person. Now, actually, when you sell your books, they're really going to be looking at you as a business person. But you should start looking at yourself as a business person the moment you begin writing. And why is that? Because it's not something you do overnight. It takes time. It takes some thinking, and we're going to just look at just a few things here. But Uncle Sam and your nephews, are the states, so he's got 50 nephews, 50 states. They look at you as a business person, and you're going to eventually have to deal with at least Uncle Sam and one of those nephews. So, what about you? Are you a business person? Do you look as like you're a business person? Do you dress like a business person? Now look at me right now. I'm dressed what you might call a casual business. No tie. I do have a dress shirt on, so it's no tie. It was kind of on the casual side. You can actually dress very casual and still be a business person. The thing is that when you dress up, let's call it that, you actually and you actually project yourself in a more professional, more business-like person. The higher up you dress, the more business-like you look. You don't believe me on that? Try it someday. Take an activity, any activity you do, and just change the way you dress. Dress up a little bit more than what you are or have been. And see if your attitude doesn't change. See if your thinking doesn't change. Just a tad, just a little bit. Uh, Before I became a Christian, I used to drink, and I discovered it when I went to the bar. I behaved differently when I was dressed up in a nice suit or something, as opposed to something casual. I drank less. I maintained myself. I behaved myself, if you will. When I got saved, I didn't go to the bar at all. I never touched a drop of liquor since. But the concept is still the same. When you dress up, your attitude changes, and people will notice that. And you want people to notice you as more of a business-like or professional, especially if you're going to be selling books. And face it, as an author, you're also going to do most of your marketing. Now, I teach a course, and in that course, I may very well publish your book. It's guaranteed. So if you finish the course, then you're going to get published. You have the option of saying yay or nay, but why would you? You've already paid for it. So why not do it? So then here's the thing. Now, you are a business person the moment you think about writing. Let me repeat that. You are a business person the moment you think about writing. And why do I say that? Because you want to get to the point where when Uncle Sam comes calling on you, you are already there. You are already thinking in terms of business. You've got everything straightened out and right on course. So, and you're going to be making decisions before you ever meet Uncle Sam. You're going to be making business decisions. And so you want to start early on. And when you're starting to write, one of the first things that you do, and one of the first things we get into in the course, is having a website. Do you have one? What type do you want? Oh, you don't know what kind types there are? Well, there are different types. And so we go into that, and and it depends upon what you want to do, how you want people to see you. I have been probably in every type of uh, business website, or any kind of website, let's put it this way, any kind of website you can think of uh, as far as type goes in my career. And because my changes, my attitude, my vision, if you will, how I thought of myself going forward has consistently changed. So you want to be a business person in your thinking. Uncle Sam, when he comes, he's going to be talking to you about taxes. Well, do you want to wait until he comes before you say, maybe I should set up a business account? No. You want to do that before he ever comes. Again, why? Because you want your house in order. So that when he comes knocking on your door, you have everything ready. You say, okay, this is what I've spent, this is what I made, this is what I spent, this is how things are done, blah, blah, blah. And Uncle Sam's going to be impressed with you, and you're going to be, everything's going to be smooth and comfortable. But if Uncle Sam's not so impressed with you, doesn't like the way you've done things, he may call you in and audit you. And you really don't want that. So you want to look and think of yourself as a business person. I mentioned dress earlier. You go to a meeting, a business meeting. You want to dress the role, right? You want to be there so that they take you seriously. Same thing, and just Uncle Sam and nephews or other businesses. My wife, back before she passed away, she was the president of our business, and she would go to ladies' business meetings, and she dressed the part. She didn't go overdressed or anything like that, but she looked and acted like a business person, and how you look affects how you act. It's just, I would call it a law of nature. um, it's something that impacts how you think about yourself and how others think about you. So it's very important how you dress. I mentioned bank accounts. You want to have your bank accounts in order. Now, there are different types of bank accounts. There's a corporation, there's LLC, there's partnerships, and then there's just a simple, basic sole proprietor. Different types, and you're going to want to know which type you should be in, and what you're comfortable being in, and then how to go about doing it. And these are all things that all are part about being a business person. So, I have on here income or sales tax. Okay, again, we go back to our bank accounts. You're going to need to have a business bank account so you can pay those taxes. They're not going to want your taxes coming out of a personal banking account. The government wants you to be set up and have a business checking account. They want to if they look at you, They're going to want to see that over here, you have your business, over here, you have your personal life, and they don't want the two to mix. Now, there's going to be some mixing, especially in the early days. It's almost um, natural. It's going to just happen. And you're going to learn, and you're going to learn how to separate things and what you need to do to keep them separate and so forth. And your circumstances will change. So what they are today, they're going to change tomorrow, and the day after that, it may change again. And so you want to be able to be flexible enough to change, and eventually you want to have your personal separate from your business as much as is possible. And that's a very important part of being a business person. So when I talk about being a business person, I am talking about you projecting yourself not only to other people, but into what you're doing. You will actually, if you start doing it early, by the time you get around to selling your books, you will be thinking in ways of business ways. How do I do this? How do I do that? It just follows one after another. And that is something that is very important to think. If you think that you're going to just be able to go casually along and then sell your books and then you can handle it, everything, you might, but I wouldn't count on it. Uh, you're going to want to have your mind set so that you can handle any questions, any circumstances that come your way, anything. And the more you can adopt a business outlook, the better off you will be. Now, like I said at the beginning of this, I'm thinking of having some episodes about this aspect. We'll look at how you dress. We'll look how you set up your business. We'll look at, do you have a website? If so, what kind of website do you have? There's different types. And that will depend upon what you need. And we'll look at that. We'll look at different aspects of it and give you some ideas, some pointers that you can use now. You don't have to wait until later. You can use now. And so that's going to be it for today. We're going to get into setup. That's all the talk of these new episodes I'm going to be doing. I've looked at them before. We're going to look at them again and revisit this subject. I think it's important. And some of you have never seen those videos in the past. And things have changed. So things constantly change. So these are going to be brand new videos that I'm going to create. So it's going to cover territory you may have visited with me before. But stick with it. It's always good to be reminded. It's good for me to remind myself about it. And so we will do that. In the meantime, you have a great day, and I will see you in the next video.